4, what's another reason that hypocrisy reigns in Christianity? Not only because we don't have a biblical worldview. Number 4, because a large percentage of Christians aren't Christians. What do I mean by that? I mean, there's a world of difference between people claiming to be Christians and the reality of their life. This is why it's important, if you're here and you're investigating Christianity, you're investigating spirituality, you're a seeker, very important to understand that you evaluate a worldview, a religion, in this case the church, Christianity, based on the teaching, the central teachings, not on the people who try to follow it. Right? There's a difference between that. Don't base the truth and the legitimacy of Christianity based on the people that are fumbling around trying to follow this thing. And the reason is because if you look at the founder himself, that's what you have to look at Jesus. Take the people off the table. Look at Jesus. What did he teach? He taught very clearly, man, it's from your heart. You got to pursue God. You got to love God. You got to sacrifice. You got to be there for people. You got to put your faith and trust in me. And you got to actually pursue God in the dark when nobody is looking. Who are you? And so here's what he did. If you go to Matthew chapter 7, if you have a Bible, if you don't, we'll put it up on the screen. I'm going to give you 2 texts where Jesus basically says a large percent of people who claim to be Christians aren't actually Christians. The first one is from Matthew chapter 7. This is Jesus himself. Verse 21, he says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, cast out demons in your name, do many mighty works in your name?' And then I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.'" Now, this is like a warning text. This is a scary text, because what he just said is there are people. Now, he just came from speaking about false prophets in the Sermon on the Mount. False prophets, people who preach things and deceive people and keep them out of the kingdom of God. But now what he says is there's not only false prophets, there's false disciples. There's people who haven't been deceived by other people. Listen, there's people who are self-deceived. There's people who said, "Well, I went to summer camp as a kid and I said this mantra and I said this prayer and I did this thing and I raised my hand, but nothing about my convictions in my life and my heart or my lifestyle produces anything remotely connected to a godly life, but I must be in, right? Because they said that's all I had to do." And he just went, there will be people who I literally look at in the end and go, "I never knew you. We didn't know you. You didn't have a personal relationship with me. It wasn't who you were in the dark. It was who you were when people were looking." And that's going to produce hypocrisy. Produce the kind of people who are completely self-deceived, who are going, I'm more after feelings, I'm more after experiences than I am after decreasing sin in my life, than I am after actually following God, pursuing God, looking to love God, it's just I believe a bunch of stuff, but I get hammered drunk every weekend. I believe a bunch of stuff, but I sleep around. I believe a bunch of stuff, but I rip people off. I believe a bunch of stuff, but I'm greedy. And nobody was more impatient with people. If you're someone who's rejected Christianity because of hypocrisy in the church, nobody is more your friend than Jesus.